What is this I hear about Google being the future of gaming? Oh, Jesus. This is JD Omega, and I will be presenting the facts about Google's new service, the Google's Stadia, and it's such an awful name, by the way. And I'll be providing the implications of this service here. So let's start off with the stats. The stats of this service, right? Let's get this going. Oh gosh, it is. Ooh, let me see here. I'm sorry about that. It is 10.7 teraflops of power, right, for the GPU, 56 compute units, and HBM2 memory, which is like really high scale memory. It allows for super fast booting. Along with that, the CPU is a custom x86 processor running at 2.7 gigahertz hyper-threaded, and its memory is 16 gigabytes. Yeah, gigabytes, I'm sorry. Total memory. All together, it's not split or anything like that. Up to 484 gigabytes. I don't think that's gigabits, I think, of transfer speed. So we're looking at it's more powerful than Xbox One X and the Pro almost combined. So we got stuff like that. Now they're running a latency of 166 Jesus Christ, 166 milliseconds, right? Now they improved it from the 179 milliseconds here, and this is Google numbers, by the way. They claim that the Xbox One X is 145 milliseconds. That's typical of, the latency locally. PC could either be 79 milliseconds if the game is running at 60 frames per second. Obviously, the more frames, the less time, the shorter the latency. And if the game is running at 30 frames per second on PC, which is rare, you're looking at 112 milliseconds. They also hired Phil Harrison, which is responsible for PlayStation Home, Media Molecule, the MotorStorm series, and they also briefly worked with Microsoft a couple of years ago. So I guess now they hire these expertise, this expertise dude. You know what I mean? This is they're trying to get his expertise in the gaming industry, but I mean, the nigga failed a lot, so I don't know why they hired him. Maybe that's all he had. Even though they hired this dude, which is, he's heavily entrenched in gaming, somehow Google has stated that they wanted to, get their own first party in-house development team and, and create content in a unique fashion. But they didn't hire anyone yet, so they have no one there. So it's like, okay, the fuck. So how are you supposed to sell this series or this service? There's no price, so we have no price for this service. We don't know how it's going to work. It is implicated that it's possibly going to use Google Play to make it work. Which gives them access to the billions of people that has phones and for these games. Once again, these companies, they keep forgetting that the demographic per area or per I guess section of gaming is different. Cell phone users are not looking for story. I can't speak for all of them, but I will say that statistically they are playing Candy Crush. That's your biggest games, those type of puzzle games, or Pokemon Go, stuff that you don't have good controls for, and you have other means. It's like an easy, accessible situation. Now, what's the selling point of this service? It really is convenience. That's what they're banking it on. It's convenience. You don't need to have hardware to play your shit. You can essentially play it anywhere that could run Chrome, is what they were stating, and relatively low latency, which we don't know how the real world implications are. By the way, supposedly they'd be able to broadcast and allow you to control a 4K 60 frames per second stream using 25 megabits per second at the minimum, and you should have, we don't even know what latency that is. So there's a lot of trickery with these numbers. There's a lot of stuff that is shrouded in mystery, and we don't know. We really don't know. We have to talk about, you know, the implications of all this shit. A lot of YouTubers are afraid that this is going to catch on. They're afraid that they are going to lose their right to to own their games, which we never really had the right. We are, what the fuck you call it? It's a license. That basically, when we have a game, it's a license to play the game, not ownership of the gaming code. It's always been like that. We used to have like gaming pamphlets, manuals, and it will state the terms of a game and you buying it. So we don't have a price. That's the biggest thing. How they're going to do it, is it going to be like Netflix, where they release some games and then their contract with those games expire and they release new ones? We don't know if they are going to discount these games. So if you buy it because you don't have any distribution or anything like that, it'll be like a $30 game, and that could pull people from actual hardware consoles. We don't know how they're going to do this, and I want to say it's probably going to be the latter. Basically, everything that you own is going to be on the server side, and there's going to be no way for you to actually access it without an internet connection. And, you know, again, a lot of people are afraid about that. There's a lot of issues. It's like YouTube doesn't even have their own shit together anyway, Google and YouTube. We just had an outage late last year for an hour, you know, and then on top of it, when it comes to streaming, their compression algorithm for the streams on YouTube is hot garbage. It's terrible. Anything fast moving will create a blur of squares all over the place. If you don't believe me, go ahead and Google search No Man's Sky, right? Wait for them to do a warp speed. It doesn't matter if they have a PC or whatever the case is, it becomes instantly pixelated because of the fast moving shaking that it's created on the image. There's a lot of bullshit going on with this. There's a lot of fuckery going on with this as well. We don't know. I mean, they're painting dreams and shit like that. And then, of course, there's publications that are just hot on it. Yeah, CBS, they were just like super hot on this shit. Just weird fucking publications are reporting this. I guess it's big news, but it also, they're getting this buzz here and painting these lies. The point of the matter is they're using these Google servers, these blades, these server blades, and they're not accessible everywhere. There's like 18 of them in the US, or I'll say 18 of them altogether, I should say. And the US infrastructure is garbage. It's terrible. It's bad. Even if they had these little server blades all over the place, which they don't. Well, I should say even if they don't. So they want to have to rely on other cable companies such as Verizon and Comcast and Spectrum and all of these things. And that's going to kick off net neutrality as well. There's a lot of data, regardless of whatever type of compression that they're doing, they're just going to eat up the internet. It's weird. Another thing too is that the support that they have is based off of, you know, some of Microsoft's and Sony's. I guess they don't really care, Microsoft or Sony. You have the sound company that Sony recently purchased. I don't know their name off the top of my head. They're supporting it. You have Havoc, which Microsoft supports. So it's weird. It's weird. This setup is very weird. I have YouTube content creators believing, such as Thrash, shout out to Thrash, and the Roundtable podcast. He believes that this is a platform for other people to use it. They're selling their servers, so to speak. So if Sony wanted to, you know, jump into it or make their servers better, they would pay Google. We don't know what the fuck's going on with this. And same thing with Microsoft. You know, because they have a patent or something of that nature. But I don't think the gamers should really worry about the situation, though. I really don't. The infrastructure is too poor. We don't have enough servers. There was 5G too, I guess, because they said that 25 megabits per second is the minimum. There's 5G, but then there's also issues with 5G as well. I don't know if you guys heard it, which is be borderline, you know, conspiracy theory shit, that 5G causes cancer. And the reasons why is because of the radio frequency that is needed creates like abnormal cell growth. So you have these frequencies going back and forth, permeating the cells and creating abnormal cell division, which is creating tumors and cancers and things like that. So that's not going in my pocket, regardless of whether it's Google, Stadia, or just regular. I don't really, that shit needs to be proven to me. Too much cancer shit anyway. So, I believe it. I believe it. But we don't know. We have no clue as to what's going on with it. I don't think it's going to work. There's no amount of money that could fix the infrastructure. You know, people talk about Japan. Japan is like an order of magnitude smaller than the U.S. So it's very easy to maintain that shit. And they were already on their futuristic shit anyway, way back in the day. So we have to, like, the biome for Japan is pretty consistent. In the U.S., we have to worry about flatlands, mountainous areas, cold weather, wet weather, windy areas. It's a lot of shit that they have to worry about. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's just not gonna work. It's not gonna work. I don't know why Google just threw this shit out of there and hoping that something stuck. I don't know what they're doing, but I do know that it won't work. There's no way to make it work. And I know a lot of people are like, well, give them a chance. You don't know if it's gonna work. I know science. And science is definitely stating that this shit will not work. But put it that way. It's not gonna work. You know, so I'm like, Jesus Christ. So that's what's going on there. It's not gonna make it. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you liked or disliked about the video, and if you liked it, a sub would be appreciated. I know I said I wasn't gonna make long videos, but this one was a little complicated. This one, I couldn't stuff all the information and then talk about the implications at the same time. There was no fucking way I was able to do that. But anyway, peace out. I'll talk to you guys.